A couple of things. One is data in one region, especially as we're consuming more AI and getting a trajectory of action of our strategy, does not necessarily mean that that's the right data implying the right things in another region of the country. At the same time, data regulations have consent around them. How did I get this data? What am I allowed to do with this data? And if I'm mixing different data types and I have only been able to use them in different ways, am I really getting a consistent aggregate answer? So if you're leading with AI, you need to understand your data trajectory and your data consent, or you're going to stumble going into that next international region. And small dysfunction at scale is huge dysfunction.
Scaling internationally for a lot of brands has failed and burned miserably, especially for European brands that want to expand in the US or vice versa. And what happens is everyone's like, oh, your business is super successful in Europe, let's just replicate it in the US and replicate it in China. You can't replicate it exactly 100% the same, because what a lot of brands are missing is they're taking this business model and it's just copy and paste. And I think the goal here is you can't ignore the cultural shopping patterns, you can't ignore the cultural norms and the way that people shop, and you can still respect the DNA of the brand, but you need to localize it to the market so it makes sense, so that customer understands you, because you need to show them that you understand them as well.
So I think the best and the most important advice I'd say, and something we underestimate when we're scaling globally, is just how important it is to understand the type of culture that you're gonna be going into. Right? And people say this and throw this around, the word tropicalization. And it's not only having someone in your marketing team that can tropicalize material, right? And it's not only understanding which vendors to go to, but you really need to understand the way of working, right? We were used to the Mexican way of working. And then when we came in and started working with the people that were building our store in London, the way they work, how precise they are, all of these aspects kind of took us by surprise, and we were getting frustrated almost at the end when we were about to launch the store. Everything was ready, the store was looking beautiful, it was spotless, but the last thing that was missing was a little check mark from a fire department, a company that had to give that check mark for us to open to the public. And you could see me and my brother going crazy, going all over the place, trying to get that. So the best thing that I'd give in people is have a really good map laid out, but not of what you think is gonna be to open a place there, but what it is to open a place there. And really talk to the people and understand the cultures you're opening in, especially if you're doing multiple locations at the same time.
For brands, it's a whole different thing, and I think it really depends on the category and where the brand is coming from. It's very challenging for brands to come into US without really understanding the market, in many cases without having local partners. And there's really successful companies in different parts of the world that specialize in bringing brands out there. I mean, if you like, LVMH initially went into Asia through partner, and they learned it that way and only eventually bought it out themselves. I think most people, this is the right way to do it, is actually through a partner, the right partner in the market.
Never try to replicate something that worked somewhere else. Just because it worked somewhere else doesn't mean it will work somewhere new. Listen to the people, listen to the sales staff, be very connected with your front line, and they would tell you what customers are looking for, what they like, what they don't like. Obviously also look at the data as to what's selling, what's not. And if you can react quickly, you will see some quick wins very, very fast. It helps a lot if you have people on the ground and you do your research and all of that. Obviously it helps a lot, but until you open, you will get the real learnings. And the faster you can take those learnings into execution, the better.
If you're not successful domestically, don't bother. International expansion is part of a successful strategy. It's not just a strategy to make up shortcomings in your local market. It's important to understand that international expansion has many unknown factors that you're not used to, cultural, geopolitical, etc. So it's much more complex. So if you are mature enough in your local market, then certainly international will be the next step, an important step.